The global market size for tilapia is valued at 18 to $21 billion, while China, Vietnam, and Indonesia dominate supply to US, Europe, Russia. India, despite capability, is missing from the map. Amidst high tariffs, dependency on one single species, and being known as a volume player is affecting our reach to the premium markets where consumers demand convenience. Lack of differentiation and lack of diversification has made our supply chain volatile. If India wants to realize its ambitious goal to double the exports by 2030, we have to diversify, we have to differentiate smartly with strategic branding and connect with the emotions of the consumers and offer them the value that they need, that they ask for. So today we are asking a very important question that India can no longer avoid. Can tilapia become India's next potential candidate species for exports? Can India build a vertically integrated tilapia value chain the way we once did for shrimps? One that delivers predictable harvests, predictable fillet yields, and predictable pricing that global buyers trust. And most importantly, what kind of policy attention, infrastructure, and discipline do we need to move tilapia from a low value nutritional fish into low carbon, traceable, and circular seafood product that can be a part of premium dining, command high prices, and showcase our regional inland strength? Welcome to the Aquabeats podcast, where we bridge science, policy, and markets to position India as a responsible, transparent, and sustainable seafood player. To take this conversation forward, I have someone very, very talented, a passionate aquapreneur who is known worldwide as an expert in tilapia farming and biofloc technology. He has set up the world's largest biofloc tilapia farm in Africa that runs on 100% solar energy. His biofloc hatchery produces 1.5 million fingerlings a month, and his tanks produce 1,000 tons of fish per annum from 100 acres. And he has a vision for India. Welcome, Dr. Naga Murali, the Managing Director at Volta Breams Private Limited. Dr. Murali, welcome to the Aquabeats podcast.
Thank you. Thank you me for inviting for this podcast.
I'm so excited to have this important and the need of the hour discussion with you. But before we dive in, I wanted to tell my audience, when did you start doing your biofloc trials? And what motivated you to get into biofloc?
I actually started my biofloc trials in the year 2022. And what motivated me is a little bit of strange reason. In the pandemic time, in Ghana, the Indian community were not having a proper food supply. At that particular time, they gave permission only for the fish suppliers or food suppliers to access others. So me and my wife, we took our car and we started delivering the fish to all Indian communities. And that way we actually started this seafood marketing to the retail level. And that time we thought, if there is such pandemics, if there is such wars where the transport lines gets disrupted, and like a seafood line, how the countries who are importing food will survive. So that then we thought, okay, then we need to create something which will give a food security for every house in a affordable way. Then immediately, like in my farm, I saw one cement tank which is lying idle for a long time. Like that actually used to be a purge tank for me. Like whatever fish I used to produce from our ponds, we purge them there to take the off flavors, and that we are not using from long time. And I thought, okay, let me do biofloc in this one and see. So we did trials 3 times and we failed almost all 3 times. Like it might be different reason, we have been learning, and then finally we got the success. That was in 2022 end, we got the success. As soon as we recorded the success, then we put it into a commercial plan and started doing our trial. We brought the first set of tanks from China. We did it. Now it's already 2 years. We are doing biofloc. We have harvested quite a tonnage of fish, and 3 times we did one cycle. 3 cycles from one tank also we completed. We are improvising. We are improvising every day. And I will say we are at 40% knowledge we achieved in biofloc. Still, there a lot to be done for me and also for India and also for the globe.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, that's truly fascinating, isn't it? I mean, you tried something out of some purpose, and that purpose is now given you some results, right? And then now you want to expand it to a world level, if I can say that.
Yes, our target here is we are now 1,000 tons from ponds, 1,000 tons from biofloc. We are adding another 1,000 tons next year, or maybe even more than that. So we want to reach somewhere around 10,000 tons biofloc production in Ghana by 2028. And my vision is there for to do some production in India, if possible to go to US and Europe also. It depends upon how I progress and they receive me like that. So I want to be at a global level on this technology, because at commercial level biofloc, many people tried and they failed. I will not say luckily, but because of our extreme hard work and understanding the technology, we got quite a consistent success. So this has to be disseminated for the food security of the world. That is what we believe in.
So before we go deeper into biofloc technology, I want to step back. India has so many fish varieties. Why do you believe tilapia deserves India's attention now?
Yeah, tilapia is the globally highly consumed fish. If you look at the seafood trends, which is the fish which dominates in volume, which is the fish which dominates in value. Like tilapia is the fish which is number one in volume, and salmon is the fish which is number one in the value. So, like if you compare the pricing also, salmon is almost I think 5 to 6 times costlier than tilapia. So, tilapia is for mass for everybody. Salmon is for a upper community or rich community, we can say. And tilapia is consumed in Africa as a native fish. It's everywhere in Africa. In Southeast Asia, they like it very much. Then in China, they eat a lot. Then in Latin America, they eat a lot. America, they eat a lot. And in Europe also, they consume a lot in terms of fillet. So it's a global fish. It's not just confined to one country or one feeding habit like that. It's a global fish. And it is even called as aquatic chicken. Why it is called as aquatic chicken is the way it grows in various culture systems. It grows in ponds, it grows in cages, it grows in biofloc, it grows in RAS, it grows in pens. Anything you say, it will grow there unless there is good favorable conditions for that to grow. And this is an omnivorous fish. And this fish is having very few bones, single lateral bone, and it can be filleted. And if you look at the feeding habits also, Indians, we like to cut the fish in steaks and cook. Tilapia fits there. African likes to grill. Tilapia fits there. Europe and no, Americans, they like fillet. It fits there. So it also fits all the type of cooking methods and the processing also. And finally, if you look at the meat flavor, it's a white meat with neutral flavor, very easy to fillet, low fat content, and high protein library. It is having a very good balanced nutrition. And if you look at the production trait, it grows in 6 months, from 1 gram to 600 grams. There are some strains which go beyond that one. They grow up to 800 grams. And recently the Gift strain, what they launched, 21st generation, they are claiming it will grow up to 1 kilo in 6 months or 6 to 8 months. So, and it tolerates high density and multiple systems. Also, advantage, it tolerates the salinity also. If there is any fish which can be cultured both in freshwater, brackish water, it is tilapia with very good value. And even we have done trials where tilapia is growing fantastic, even at 36 ppt also, almost like sea salinity. So a fish which can grow in different ecosystems, different culture systems, different conditions, and a broad range of temperature tolerance, easy to breed. So it has a multiple advantages in it, which we need to identify, educate, and propagate. So if we, again, I said, the market, frozen fillets, portions, value-added format, any format, the fish satisfies that particular niche. That's why tilapia, being a global fish, we need to adopt it.
So tilapia is a tasty fish, and it is odorless fish. It is having good sources of fat, perfect for value addition. And like you said, it's a global fish, right? On the other hand, India has world-class aquaculture science. We have export inspection architecture. We have export processing capacity and millions of farmers. Then what is stopping us? Why India missed the bus?
Yeah, if we want to go into the deep details, first we have to see first of all how tilapia entered into India and what are the consequences based on its arrival into India. Somewhere around I think 1980s or so, tilapia has been brought to India from China, and this tilapia is like the black tilapia, Mozambique tilapia, like Oreochromis mozambicus. This fish matures at around rate of 30 to 40 grams, breeds aggressively, produces enormous fingerlings, and the quality of the meat is poor, and even the shelf life of the fish is also very poor. So when this fish came to India, it started propagating in various water bodies, and then people started treating that as a weed fish. And the same concept has been implanted or printed on the minds of Indians that tilapia is that Chinese tilapia, which breeds like anything, which pollutes the waters like that. And they branded it as weed fish. Now, today, we brought Niloticus, which is an excellent quality of meat and grows very good, attains maturity around 300 grams, but still people are with the same mindset. So whenever it comes to tilapia, there's that cheap fish, that cheap fish. But these people have no idea what they are eating, going to restaurants and eating on the name of Apollo fish is the same tilapia fillet. So it has the value, but the mindset problem. And because of that, since it is termed as cheap fish, farmers did not go into it for culturing. And since it is a low export value oriented or whatever, the farmers are not growing it, processors
Hmm.
did not demand for it,
Hmm.
and there is no specialized hatchery. So all these things come together. It did not give any boost to the tilapia farming or market in India.
Hmm.
So, we cannot blame anybody or any industry that, why it didn't kick off. It always lies on the commercial lines. Like if it is commercially important, if it is having market, especially tilapia has a market, but still I also wonder why it did not take off. It should have been. And, lack of commercial scale export grade hatcheries. In Andhra, we have one RGCA hatchery, which is owned by Empeda. They brought the gift strain, and they brought around 13th generation, I think, and they are then developing the that brood stock and supplying fingerlings. They supplied fingerlings to many people, which is like for Kerala, in Tamil Nadu, in any other states. Some people have grown them, and some are eating. Like surprisingly, there is some market for tilapia, domestic market existing in tilapia in West Bengal. It is there in Andhra, Rayalaseema area. They are eating a lot of tilapia. In Kerala, they eat a lot of tilapia because in Kerala, actually, they like pearl spot, but in place of pearl spot, they are substituting tilapia. So they are eating tilapia. So like that, this RTCA hatchery was supplying this gift strain tilapia to them. And also we have another commercial hatchery owned by global people on the name of Arsen Biotech. They also supplied Chitralada strain of tilapia, which is a salt tolerant tilapia. And but so it was like up and down. It was always like up and down. When Kerala people were consuming a lot of tilapia, the hatcheries were doing good, but we never concentrated on the exports. And when it comes to the research, introductions, scalable supply, only the private entrepreneurs have brought some tilapia strains from outside, and they tried. Since they didn't find the market, it did not go. But there is no research institute in India which actually tried to imbibe the technology, get the strain, develop it, and go into commercials. Like what I talked about, national institutes, they actually did not try it in a serious way. Then again, weak licensing, no corridor strategy, little alignment between hatchery and feed, processing and export markets. Weak licensing means like so today tilapia is there in every water body of India, but even if we apply for a tilapia broodstock importation license, the government treats it as an alien species, and they don't give permission easily. A lot of process we have to go through, even though the tilapia is everywhere. So this type of licensing hurdles, and again there is no recognition for the species. There is no definite market for the species. So that's another reason. And no export like, first tilapia, the way India built from shrimp. India have been always concentrating on the shrimp. It's a high value species. Like we get $8 to $10, and tilapia is a $1.5 $2 fish. Okay, if you export tilapia in fillet, it is equally to 1 kg of shrimp. So even in my ponds also, what I will see is I used to do shrimp also. Like for me, 10 tons of tilapia is equal to the same value of 1.5 2 tons of shrimp, the value wise. The profit also same. So, but we did not look in that economic side, that the profit what you are getting from shrimp and tilapia, they are same. This economic model, if it would have entered into the farmer's mind, I think they would have switched on to tilapia a long time back.
Right. Can we reverse this game?
Yeah, definitely we can reverse this game. So, like, see, my strategy is like, I will not tell anybody to go and, like this is doing like this, go and do that. I don't do that one. I want to do on myself, show them, and then ask them to follow. That is my strategy. So that's why I'm starting one tilapia hatchery and farm in India, in my hometown, Machilipatnam. And once I do the successful farming there, I will invite the farmers, the government agencies, and other people. I will demonstrate them like how we are doing that, and then if they like, they will definitely go ahead. And like as I said, at the economic terms, if I can say to the farmer that if you are growing tilapia in 1 acre, like from every 1 acre, you can get 2 lakhs rupees as your profit consistently, definitely the farmer will get interested, because many farms, they are not getting that 2 lakhs per acre profit from shrimp, and it is not consistent. One crop you get, two crops you fail. So I think when we show the economic advantage of doing tilapia, even in the terms of value also, like you are hardly harvesting 1 ton of shrimp from an acre, which you will get like roughly around 2.5 lakhs of rupees as a revenue. But from the same 1 acre, you can harvest nearly 6 tons of tilapia easily. And even though you get $1, you are getting $6,000, which is like, 5 lakhs rupees. So revenues, it increases, profit, it gives more, consistency is there. So definitely we can reverse this, but the condition, the government has to own the species and promote it.
Absolutely. So, so the way shrimp has, captured the global market, because we have been able to show the world that we can consistently deliver the quality, we can consistently deliver the volumes, we can consistently uh, give you the prices that you want. The entire ecosystem was working together in the same line of direction, right? So I think for tilapia also we need the same strategy. We need every supply chain stakeholder to be a part of making this a successful model,
Yes.
right? So you say bioflock is bioflock in India. And on the other hand, you have built bioflock hatchery and farms in Ghana and West Africa that produces 1.5 million fingerlings per month. And your tanks produce 1,000 tons of fish annually. So tell us what code you cracked while others could not.
Yeah, like in India, everybody says bioflog as a bioflog, because 99.99% people failed in it. Very few people have success in it. And that also in the shrimp nurseries, but not in actually fish farming. And that's the reason, like, when most of the people fail, they say it's a flop. Anybody, if I said like I'm going for bioflog farming in India, they said, no, 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 it's a flop model, don't go for it. Like, to be precise, I'll say bioflock is a half-told story in India. And I always relate that to our epic story, Mahabharata, where Abhimanyu know to enter into the Padma Vihya, where he heard from his mother's womb, but he don't know how to come back. Bioflock was the same situation in India. They have been told that carbon ratio between nitrogen and carbon CN ratio 12, 16, 20%. That's the end solution for all the problems, because as soon as you feed the fish from the fecal matter, ammonia comes, and this ammonia is toxic, which can be killing fish. But when you add carbon, that ammonia is taken care of, so you can run the system smooth, automatically flock develops. This is the concept which went into the people's mind. But actually in commercial, like, the reason for me to fail the first 2 3 times is also the same. I also followed the same theory what I've been told, like, just giving carbon to neutralize nitrogen. But actually the story starts from there. The problem starts from there. The real fight starts from there. As soon as the system is stabilized, or like you are in the culture process, the first 30 days is like smooth cake. There is no ammonia buildup. There is no extra more amount of carbon input in the system. Everything goes smooth. Now, once the system reaches a level where they are consuming 30 kgs of feed, then actually the system is in a critical situation. Suddenly, like the bacteria is having lag, log, stationary, phase of decline, 4 stages. You are adding carbon to the system, but not in the log phase every time. Different stages. So it will give you a little bit side effects, but not too much where the system will damage. Suppose on a particular day you added carbon when the bacteria is in log phase, then 1 million bacteria will develop to 1 trillion in just less than 10 minutes time. Even that much of time also it may not take. When the bacteria multiplies in such a huge number, it will start taking away the oxygen in the system. It zeros the oxygen. Like from 6 ppm of DO, it can become to 0.5 in less than 10 minutes. And at that situation, you may add a number of blower aeration, a lot of aeration. It doesn't help you at all. Secondly, when this bacteria multiplies in such a high number, they release a lot of carbon dioxide. Because of the carbon dioxide, it forms the carbonic acid and it lowers the pH, and the pH can fall down to 3.5 also in less than 10 minutes. So this extreme water quality condition of low pH and low DO will kill the fish less than 10 minutes. This is the real cause between the failures of biofloc in India. They failed because of this particular reason, because of the high carbon dioxide, low pH, and low DO. Now, at this particular point of time, you want to, what we should we do? Like we need to increase the pH to 6 or 7 within no time. It has to be done only through chemical application. I don't say it's a chemical, but it's like, some additive, like water additive, which can increase the pH with no side effects. In the same way, you can't rise the DO using the aeration here. It has to be again a product application into the system. So this is the place where we brought the success, or we cracked the code. We apply a particular compound which will increase the pH from 3.5 to 7 within no time. We increase, we add a compound which will increase the DO from 0.5 to 6 ppm or 8 ppm, whatever desired level, within no time, with no side effects. And they are not chemicals, like they are just normal chemistry products, I will say, which is part of water biology. So that way we cracked the code, and that way we got the success. And again, like our biofloc is SOP driven. Like once we stock the fish into the tank, we give a chart for every day. Every day, how much carbon has to be applied, what time it has to be applied, what has to be checked, and what are the critical levels, how to treat when a particular flock reaches a critical level, how to whenever we see any abnormal input of nitrogen into that, how to calculate that time, how to reduce that particular thing without much side effects, how to break down your carbon application times. All these instructions are given in SOPs, and the people follow that one. And also, as I said, we have this emergency oxygen and pH management, the product lying adjacent to the tank. I don't even have the time for the guy to go to the stores and bring it. So we have it there ready to tackle the situation. So this type of extremely disciplined SOPs gave us the success. And partial knowledge, pseudo consultancy, biofloc will punish you a very bad way, and you will lose a lot of your interest. You will be gone, your money will be gone. Finally, you will blame yourself, like, why I entered into this biofloc. So you have to learn the technology in full, the side effects of the system, and also the mitigation measures for that side effects. Until you know them, you cannot just take it for granted and just go and grow the fish in that one.
So it's an innovative technology, and it can do wonders only when you have the right skills and the right expertise.
Yes, it's a very good innovative technology, like where this conserves the water, recycles the water, and then it doesn't damage the environment with any sludge or any pollution type. So like that, there are enormous benefits. And yes, definitely this is an innovative technology which can be improvised day on day, day on day. When we started beginning, we were changing water for every day in the morning 10 seconds, every night evening in the 10 seconds. But today we are not even doing that. We are breaking down the sludge by using different technology. So there is a lot you can do. And now we built a biofilter where we are taking the water there, removing the sludge, and taking that for biogas, and then again recycling the water back, and or taking it to the vegetables and fruit crops like that. So not even 1 liter of water pollutes the environment, or 1 gram of sludge pollutes the environment. We are creating a circular economy with this biofloc, where we can say that traceability, sustainability, biosecurity, food security, all can be achieved in one single system. That's biofloc system.
Hmm. And this code that you have cracked, I guess, has become your intellectual property. And you are ready to share it with the world, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it is my intellectual property. As is, if I'm at the age of 30, I would have said I will keep my intellectual property for me. But now I'm reaching 50, so I would like to share my knowledge, share my success with the various people for the benefit of the communities, countries, and the world. Actually, this biofloc technology was started by Professor Yoram from Israel, and he gave the technology to many people, but they are at research level, small scale like that. But commercially, they did not. Nobody took at the level where I have taken. And I met him in Denmark, Copenhagen, 2 years back in 2024. Yeah, 1 year back. And he was very happy to see the level which I have taken the biofloc technology. So, the satisfaction when we are at a higher ages or reaching higher ages, uh, our name survives more than our life. That is what we look at, and that's what I want to do.
That's great. You have built largest tilapia biofloc farm and hatchery in Africa. What your journey looks like, and what did it take to reach that scale? And most importantly, how did you do that?
Yeah, see, biofloc is such a good technology where when you are using that technology in the ground, the fish will not lay the eggs. Like, it will not lay the eggs. So you have no reason to sexualize them or use hormone. But the same technology, when I use in hatchery, I'm getting a tenfolds of production. So it's like how we understood. Like earlier, we are using somewhere around 3,000 broodstock of females and 1,000 of males in a 1 hectare breeding tank, and struggling to produce 1 million fingerlings a month. But we are doing that in biofloc with just 6 rectangular tanks of 20 meter by 5 meter. They give abnormal levels of fecundity. Earlier, our fecundity was somewhere around 500 fry per female at the max. Today, we are recording somewhere around 1,600, 1,800, even 2,400 at some times. So, what actually happened here is understanding the biology and the behavior of the fish. Tilapia is a fish which is very shy. Usually to be successful when we are doing in RAS like that, we create some hides for them. But in biofloc, because of the floc content, there is a shade for them. Like naturally, one fish cannot see other fish easily. There is some hiding, and also they do this nesting also. So in our biofloc breeding tanks, we give aeration only in the periphery, but not in the center. So the fish can make its nest. It can lay the eggs there. The male comes, it fertilizes them. The female can pick it up easily in the mouth, and it goes very well for them. It's like you arranged everything for them to breed well and to perform well, unlike in pond or other places. So that's the reason. And also the water current which we create in that biofloc tank also matches the current which the fish likes, to rotate the fish in its mouth like that. Everything is normal for them. So just from 6 tanks of breeding, and with only 900 breeders in them, we are producing nearly 2.5 to 3 million fry in a month, and ultimately getting 1.5 million fingerlings every month. So, it was not a random for us. Like for us, we know that based on the oxygen levels in the biofloc tank, how to stock the brood fish, how to stock the grow fish, how vigorous aeration is. So we are using the technology for our benefit there, and we are very successful in the hatchery. And then when it comes to the farm, initially we did it in some small tarpaulin tanks which we brought locally, and then we went into a 10-meter dia tanks, then we went into 16-meter dia tanks, and we tried there. And we face some hiccups in terms of setting up the blowers exactly, giving the amount of aeration required for them, and giving matching the aeration tube required for them. But one advantage what we have seen is the bigger tanks are doing better than the smaller tanks, like the 16-meter dia. So now the next scale we are going for 30-meter dia tanks. Like one tank will be producing like 20 tons of fish. So whatever we observe every day, we upgrade ourselves, we educate ourselves, and we improvise the things ourselves. Like first we started with ring blowers, then we went to root blowers, and today we are bringing a very costly jet speed blower from China. And like whatever we brought before, we are all scrapping that one. So we invest in the technology, we believe in technology for the perfection, and we justify ourselves in the costings like that. Our team is good, our team effort is good. Without team effort, I don't think I would have been at this stage of success. They give me, like, our guys work 24 hours. We have 3 shifts of people. They record the oxygen, they record the pH, everything. They keep on sending me on WhatsApp, and we work on WhatsApp and Dropbox. We don't work on reports. We don't write on, like, I don't like my guys to keep reporting, like, daily report, monthly report, like that. We don't do. Whatever it is, instant on WhatsApp, and whatever the generates, everybody works on their files, it will be on Dropbox. So we give maximum time for their productivity rather than wasting in the reports. That's one system which we follow. So our team effort has helped to be successful in the farm also.
How
Then
big your team is?
we have 6 expatriates here, Indians, and then we have 75 locals. This is for both 100-acre ponds and also biofloc tanks together. But to be precise, on biofloc, I have hardly 6 people working. That's all.
So you have your farms and you have your hatcheries. And what kind of business model you have in Ghana? And is it traceable? Do you have a geotagging systems? And also talk about a little bit on how tilapia is low carbon and how it is having zero antibiotics used in the system.
Yeah, like, basically, uh, my farm is integrated. Like, I don't have feed, but rest all are integrated. We have our own hatchery. We produce fingerlings there. We know the brood stock, where we got it from, so we know the traceability, and we record the information at every level. And I will say, like, we are one of the ASC certified farms. We are the only second tilapia farm in Africa to be ASC certified, and only one land-based tilapia farm to be certified with ASC. But we have temporarily, did not renew the ASC license last year because we had some small issue regarding the sex reversal process. Like, ASC says all tilapia should be male, but we have one problem of disease in Ghana, ISKNV, and as soon as we sex reverse the fish is dying in plenty. So we stopped sex reversal because of that one. So now we are going again for AAC certification this April for biofloc, because in biofloc we have all males. Like, I will not say all males, but there is no fish without eggs. So this is one thing which we are still working with ASC, and we are expecting them to give us a waiver for that one because of the understanding the Ghana situation. Now, geotagging, yes, we do a geotagging. We pass with the code all through, like from the day the coding start from the which breeding hapa we got the fry, then again which fry hapa it went, again which fingerling hapa it went, then which nursery pond it went, then which grow out pond it went, and where it is coming for the market, we do that. But we are not exporting any tilapia from here to other places. So we are not having that issue now, but it's all for local market. We process, we gut, we ice it, and we send it to the distribution centers. Now, coming to this zero antibiotics, this biofloc system is full of bacteria. When there is so much of bacteria, I cannot apply antibiotics in water, definitely, because it will crash my system. I cannot apply antibiotics in feed also, because the antibiotic residue coming out from the fish in a fecal matter can destroy my flock. So I cannot do that one. So even though you want, you cannot use antibiotics in biofloc system. That's why it is an assured zero antibiotic system. Now, how I'm attaining, getting success by not sex reversal. In biofloc tank, when tilapia is stocked at the rate of 60 fish per cubic meter, they have no space to lay the eggs. They can't form the nest. And even though they try to lay the eggs, the males cannot get the time to fertilize them. Before that, the aeration system will diffuse the eggs into the water. So ultimately, what we have seen is our tilapia fish, whichever is in the biofloc grow tanks, they know by themselves that I cannot lay the eggs, and I cannot breed. So ultimately, they are not opening their genital pores. The nearly 60% to 80% of the fish whichever we harvested, the females, the genital pore hasn't opened at all. And even when we open the when we do the gutting of the fish, when we see the female fish started absorbing the ovaries. So this is one fantastic phenomena where we have seen, we record, like at the place of processing point, we will see when we are harvesting the fish, like every 4 tons we do a batch, how much of eggs we are getting separately in the bowls. And we can see when we are doing harvest of biofloc tank fish, hardly you see a egg coming up in the, or ovaries coming in the fish. So this is the point where it satisfies the ASC also, that there are no eggs in the fish. And it is also a good point for us also. And also, if you look at the yield, the biofloc grown fish is giving us a gutting loss of 6% to 8%, where the pond fish was giving a gutting loss of 10 to 12%. So a 4% to 6% increase in the yield also we have seen because of the less guts. The pond grown fish will be like on the eating on the plankton, its intestine will be coiled long, and it will be bloated. Whereas if you see the fish coming from biofloc, its intestine will be very less, shortened, and very compact. So there is a huge difference. So we are expecting that if we actually go and fillet the biofloc fish, the fillet yield, which is like 30 to 33% in ponds, should go up to 40% in biofloc, which will be a huge economic boost for exporting fillet by growing fish in biofloc. So that is another thing. Now, when it comes to the carbon data, we record the carbon input from various sources, like from feed, how much carbon it is coming, and how much carbon we need to add to that carbon to neutralize the nitrogen coming from the feed. So we are neutralizing the nitrogen with the carbon coming from the feed, and additionally we are bringing the pollutant of other agri industries, like it is a molasses, a pollutant in sugar industry. If you are talking about rice burn, it's a pollutant in rice industry. Here nobody uses rice burn much. So we are bringing those things to add as extra carbon. So we are now at a stage, I can say we are having 1 kg carbon dioxide equivalent saved, or as a carbon credit for every 1 kilo fish. Like if you talk about carbon credits, I think we are at 1 carbon credit for 1 kg production of 1 ton production of fish. And if I replace the power from generic to solar or green energy, I can get up to 2.25 carbon credits for every 1 ton of fish. That is the current level we are. So we have the carbon data, but we haven't gone for carbon auditing yet. And the next ASC, they are going to do us a carbon audit for us also. So then at time I can say at their perspective what is our carbon data. And then, like in Ghana, we are not exporting anything. We are all for local market. Our local markets are very much established, organized. And what we do is we harvest the fish, then we gut them, then we ice them, we put it in our reefer trucks and send to our landing centers, where the buyers will come there and they will buy. So one unique thing, what happens for us in Ghana is like, apart from us, everybody produces the fish in cages, and their fish looks black in color. And our fish, which comes from the ponds and biofloc, they look white in color. So somehow we are branded as white tilapia. And if they see white tilapia, definitely it is from our company, Fish and Feeds Limited or Volta Breams Limited. So that way we created a brand for us in Ghana, that this particular fish is almost like a natural fish, white in color. So we occupied and we satisfied every segment. And feed also, we procure locally. We used to import some feed before, but what we have seen is the bioavailability of the ingredients are more in locally procured feed, because they are maximum 7 days before, after their manufacture, we are using in the tanks. Whereas, the imported feeds, they are taking long time in storage and transport like that. So overall, we are, except feed production, we occupied all the other 3 areas. And technically, we have well qualified staff also. So that is the reason why we can say, and why our farm is treated as the most organized and disciplined farm in Ghana.
So, are we saying that biofloc is the only technology that can help us produce tilapia at low cost, gives us the good quality without antibiotics and with complete traceability? And of course, with animal welfare and lower emissions as an added advantage.
I will not say that biofloc is the only technology, but this is the only alternative technology, I will say. Like if you can grow fish in ponds also, like considering nearby the production cost of biofloc. But when you are doing that in the ponds, you need a larger area, and then you will be the amount of water you are going to use, the amount of water you are going to let out while harvesting the fish, and the nitrogen emissions, carbon emissions in that particular water polluting the environment. And then again, because of the sludge and other things, and the black lining in the viscera, muddy flavor coming from the blue green algae, these all things has to be mitigated. And especially the security concern also, like you have to watch a very big area to secure your business. That's the one problem in the ponds. The capital cost, you are burdened with the land and availability of the land. Now when compared to cages also, like the infrastructure cost, or the overhead cost will be less in cages compared to the ponds and biofloc or RAS. But the biosecurity is a big concern in cages. Like the way we have gone through the diseases in Ghana, ISK invade, streptococcus, and another new disease. The fish in cages are subjected to even 85% of mortality. So the biosecurity of the fish is at a very good, is a very high concern when it comes to the cages. And today with climate change, the floods. Last year there was floods in Ghana, which has a devastated effect on the cages. It washed away all the cages. So if you look at the climate change, the disasters, and again the biosecurity, cages became a very risky place of investment. And like you can grow the tilapia in RAS also, but it is like the cost of production and the selling price are same. RAS is for high valued fish, but not like tilapia, which is a little bit lower value. So ultimately, a system which can give you a fish at an affordable price, high quality, traceability, sustainability, it is bioflow.
How much proficiency have you achieved in mastering biofloc? If you were to rate yourself out of 10,
I'm at only 4.5 scale out of 10. I didn't master it even full. It takes some more time,
can we
uh,
master this technology 100%?
yes, we can take it to 100%. We are working with some few other people also. Now,
And how
what we
long will it take for you to master this skill 100%?
another 2 years, I think I should master it. Like we come up with a standardized model to people to say, yeah, just do like this way, follow these SOPs, you will have no problems. So we will take another 2 years to bring up to a standardized model.
Who all are currently doing biofloc?
Alongside with me, there is one more person in Malawi, South Africa area called Mr. Raman Kauri. He's also doing biofloc successfully, and I think they are producing 350 tons of tilapia every year. And there is one more person in Indonesia who is also doing biofloc successfully. Apart from that, I also have seen one farmer from one lady, a professor from Argentina. She's also doing biofloc somewhere around 150 to 200 per year capacity. So like that, we are, I think, 4 or 5 people around the globe doing the biofloc at a commercial scale, like one tank, two tank, those type of people. They might be more, maybe thousands like that. And yes, commercially, I think we are the 3 or 4 people, or maximum 5 people who are very successful in this technology.
Wow. So you're one of those four guys who is proud to say that I've mastered 50% of the skill which is required to run biofloc successfully.
Yes, like between me and Raman, I think we both mastered the same technology to manage pH and DO, and the same products we use for managing of them. So it's not a hidden truth until you find it, a right key for a right lock. That's all.
Great. That sounds great. So you said that you have two biofloc units. Each unit is having 24 tons, and each unit is producing 500 tons per annum. So roughly your units are producing 1,000 tons with the help of 12 skilled people, right? Now my question is that if we were to produce the same level of production in Vinami, okay, how many people do we need? How much area do we need? How much revenue can we expect? And of course, how much ROI can we expect? And how the risks in both the technologies can be mitigated?
Yeah, like now, if we are comparing tilapia production in biofloc tank, the area to the shrimp production in ponds, like to produce 1,000 tons of vanami in ponds at the rate of 40 pieces per square meter and average 10 grams at the harvest, we need nearly 300 acres of ponds, 2 cycles in a year to reach that 1,000 tons production capacity. But again, if you say, if you want to compare biofloc shrimp to biofloc tilapia, biofloc shrimp, they are now successful to grow 4 kg per cubic meter or 4 kg per, 4 kg per cubic meter they're able to produce. That means a biofloc tank where we are producing 6 to 6.5 tons of tilapia, we can produce 1 ton of shrimp there. Even there, it is like 1/6. So if I'm like, for me to produce 1,000 tons of tilapia biofloc in biofloc tanks, I'm hardly using 5 to 6 acres of land. So if you want to produce the same 1,000 tons of shrimp also in biofloc, and that will almost like it needs 6 times, like 36 acres. But again, like 5-6 acres of biofloc tilapia, the same tonnage of biofloc shrimp, 36 acres, the same volume of shrimp in ponds, 300 acres. Say biofloc technology reduces the land footprint by 1/10 or 1/16 in terms of tilapia. And you are asking the manpower. Like if the manpower, it is 12 people in biofloc tilapia, that is in tanks, compared to the shrimp ponds. Shrimp ponds, you require minimum 30 to 35 people there. Just like daily, like we can say permanent labor. And again, the people who you employ in the harvesting and other things, they are additional, the casual employees. But standard employees, you require minimum 30 people there. So there is a huge variation in manpower requirement between biofloc and the traditional ponds and shrimp farming.
So that's great. So and the ROI is, of course.
ROI, yeah, like from suppose let us take 1 acre to 1 acre. 1 acre tilapia we can stock at the rate of 3 per square meter or 5 per square meter, and we will be able to harvest minimum 6 tons of tilapia. And 6 tons of tilapia at the rate of 90 rupees per kilo, it will be 5.4 lakhs as a revenue. Now, if you go to 1 acre of pond, we are stocking 40 per square meter, and you are harvesting at 10 gram size with 90% survival, you get 1.5 ton of shrimp. And 1.5 ton of shrimp at the rate of, even though you get 250 rupees per kilo shrimp, that is only 4 lakhs rupees. So in terms of revenue also, I don't see much difference there. And when it comes to the profitability also, in tilapia you are having minimum 20 rupees per kilo. 6 tons into 20 rupees per kilo is 1,20,000. Whereas in shrimp, even though 1.5 ton, you are getting 10 rupees margin. Like most people are doing that much only, 10 or 20 rupees margin. You don't have that much of ROI. So, and consistency. Like I will say, if people are educated well in the terms of economic returns from tilapia, definitely they will switch on to tilapia.
Oh, so we are looking at technology at that level.
Yep.
That's great. I also want you to throw some light on, if we were to do a comparison between cages, tanks, and biofloc, and if you were to give a comparison in terms of the profitability, in terms of carbon emissions, in terms of animal welfare, in terms of traceability, in terms of cost, output, FCR, everything. With the help of this table, can you draw a comparison between these three systems?
Yeah, like basically what I will compare between the production systems is the land footprint and water footprint, then FCR, then nitrogen emissions, then carbon emissions. And then we will go to the profitability also. Like if you look at the pond, your land footprint will be nearly 1 square meter to produce 1 kg fish. And when it comes to the cage, it will be like 0.006. And when it comes to the RAS, it will be 0.033. And also biofloc also same, 0.033 meter square to produce 1 kilo fish. And when you look at the water footprint, it will be like 1 cubic meter of water is required to grow 1 kg fish in pond. and that is with zero water exchange and only compensating the evaporation losses at the rate of 2 liters of water per square meter per day in our subtropical climate. And when it comes to the cage culture, it will be almost like, see, for water footprint, you cannot say in cage culture because the water will be continuously flowing. And if you compare the flow rate and the days of culture, the figure will be exorbitant to say like this is the water footprint for fish in cages. But when it comes to the RAS, it will be 125 liters to produce 1 kg fish like tilapia. And in biofloc also will be the same 125 liters to produce 1 kg of fish. Like, here we have taken a higher value, but in the recent technology, we have still reduced. Maybe in the next slides, we will show you how much we have reduced the water footprint again. Now, when it comes to the FCR, in ponds, you get FCR of 1.5, cages and RAS, you get 1.9. And in biofloc, you get 1 mostly, or maybe 1.1 or 1.2 if the feed is not much efficient. And the protein content of the feed required in the biofloc and in the RAS and cages are higher. Pond is like 28. Now we are even trying the feed of 20% in biofloc with the same result. So then it comes to the end product in nitrogen cycle. Everywhere it is like, nitrates in terms of pond and cages, which goes into environment. Whereas in RAS and biofloc, we convert that into gaseous nitrogen. So there is no end product which is going into the environment. It goes into the, like I'll say environment in the sense water bodies. It doesn't eutrophiate, but it goes directly into atmosphere. Then again, if you look at the disposal of end nitrogen, ponds, we create pollution to the water bodies, and again cage culture will create eutrophication of the lake, whereas in RAS and biofloc we are just leaving the gas into the atmosphere, which is nitrogen is present there in abundance. Now, mitigation of nitrogen compounds and methodology, we cannot do that in ponds, but still we are trying to use some probiotics to reduce some nitrogen content in the ponds. Whereas in cage, there is no mitigation measure at all to do. But recently they started bringing up multi-trophic cage culture. Like, there is a new technology what they are using. So the sediments goes to the down level, and then they will be stocking some other species there like that. And now using in the RAS, we are using biofilters and degassing zones and other things to mitigate that. And in biofloc, it is just by bacteria. We use bacteria to convert the nitrogen. And now if you look at the aeration in kilowatt hours, in ponds, we require 0.32 kilowatt hours to grow 1 kg fish. In cages, 0. In RAS, it will be 3.625. And in biofloc, it is 0.72 kilowatt hours to produce 1 kilo fish. So finally, if you convert that into the carbon emission and also, the carbon credits like that, there you can see biofloc is the only culture system where you can have carbon credits. Like earlier also I told, like, we can get up to 1 carbon credit for every 1 ton of tilapia. Here I'm showing like, half. At that time, we didn't go into much efficient manner of operating. So we can manage to get like 1 carbon credit for every 1 ton of tilapia. And if we go to solar, it can be 2.25 carbon credits for every 1 ton of tilapia. But whereas other all production systems, they create enormous carbon footprint for them.
So again, I feel the same thing that biofloc is one of those technologies that can help us produce tilapia at low cost, give us a good quality uh, without antibiotics and with complete traceability, with animal welfare and lower emissions as an added advantage, right? So, having said this, I feel that this kind of a model fits very well within the ASC scope and ambitions for responsible aquaculture, right? And
Yes.
in fact, there's a Dutch retailer by the name of Albert Heijn. They have been
Okay.
selling ASC certified tilapia since 2013 as part of its sustainable seafood range.
Wow.
And there's a premium tilapia producer, Regal Spring,
Yeah.
has they have launched recently ASC certified tilapia, which is going to US grocery chains such as Metro Market, Pick and Save, and some other retailers in the Midwest. So are we trying to say that uh, can we become Regal Springs in India?
Yes. I always tell the same. Regal Springs as one single entity or a company is producing 1 million metric tons of tilapia combined in Indonesia, Honduras, and Mexico. One single company. And we as one country with some 140 billion or population, we are not able to produce what a single company is producing. So I will say, like, we have to target at least 1 million metric ton as a country to produce tilapia and enter into the market.
And you have a plan for that. India playbook. Okay.
Okay.
So here we are going to talk about what does India's success playbook looks like. Na? So here we are going to talk about that we should have a proper branding, right?
Yeah.
Second, efficient value chain where we have every actor participating in the
Mm.
commercial success of tilapia, right?
Yeah.
And with the help of these two things, we should be able to build trust in the international market about our quality, about the predictable harvest,
Yeah.
and the fillet quality, and of course the prices,
Yeah.
right? And then
Yes.
how do we reset the perception and give confidence? Okay,
Okay.
chalo, let's start, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So India has scale, Vietnam has trusts. Indonesia created trust by positioning themselves as certified and responsible producer. What does India success playbook looks like?
Are we talking about the shrimp success, right? We are talking about the shrimp success.
No, we are saying that Vietnam, Indonesia, and China have built a brand because they have been consistently delivering the right specifications as per the retailer requirements. They have been
Yeah.
delivering the right quality at the desired prices, right? So how does India should brand themselves and should be able to capture a significant share in the global tilapia market? So
Okay.
what
Like
does our success playbook looks like?
Yeah. So, if you look at the Chinese tilapia, they have it's a market based. Like, if you want an affordable tilapia at a better price, they all go to Chinese. Then it comes to the high quality tilapia. High quality tilapia comes from Brazil, and it comes from Indonesia, it comes from Vietnam. The high quality tilapia. And even if you look at the local prices of tilapia, also that will say what the quality of tilapia is. Now, if you want us to if you want to see India also as part of those people who are in the race of this tilapia, we have to target first the Chinese volume. China is dominating nearly 80% in volume. So we have to say that our cost of production should be in lines or in competitive lines with the Chinese ones, so that we can replace them. And this is what happened in Vaname also. Like, we are totally replaced the Chinese, and now even China is importing Vaname. In the same way, like, if you look at the quality, what tilapia is produced by Vietnam and Indonesia, Indonesia is by Regal Springs. Most of the tilapia produced in Indonesia is by Regal Springs, and there are small other players. And from Vietnam, it is the small scale farmers who are producing the processing plants they are buying and exporting. So we have to look at a branding for Indian tilapia for a quality and affordability together. Like, a hormone free, antibiotic free by design with controlled inputs, zero or minimal water exchange where 90% of the water should be recycled, and such type of systems has to be encouraged. And we have the PMMSY scheme, so they also should be very careful in whom to give the project funding, like what type of projects we are looking at. And we have to target low FCR, low fish meal content. That also where the ASC comes into the picture. And we have to say, like, every farm should have compulsory ASC certification from day one, from the start, so that it enables the export easy. And quantifiable footprints, water, nitrogen, carbon footprints with potential of carbon credits and circular usage, circular economy. All these things has to be put into the picture while we are encouraging the species and culture. We should not let this culture go without controls to the people, and finally bringing up a product with some negative things. And once that was detected in a container on inspection, it will spoil the whole reputation of the industry and also the country. So it has to be on a planned scale, not on a uncontrolled or unplanned scale, then only India can place itself in a global picture, producing and selling quality and affordable tilapia for the global markets.
And also very important for us to reset the perception and give confidence to our industry and to the buyers by coming out of a past history of tilapia being seen as a weed fish, which is like without taste and with faster spoilage. So we need a fresh perspective or a fresh unified narrative focused on quality and value that global buyers can trust, isn't it?
Yes, we
Hmm.
don't deny that there is no export of tilapia done from India. It has been, it's like, it's going like nearly, I think this year, 40 to 50,000 tons of tilapia has been exported from India. But most of this tilapia is coming from the natural water bodies. And this fish, which comes from the natural water bodies, is having very thin flesh on their body, lean tilapia. So we had some discussion with some buyer from Italy when we had some a price drop in Ghana. We thought of exporting some tilapia, and he said like he wants fish for $1.2 FOB, and he thought, and he's comparing the fish what comes from India. Like he said, that's a lean tilapia. We want something. So the image was not good, which has to be reset. Like once the fish comes from a proper nutrition based feeding and other things from a culture system, it looks stout. Like just last week I was in Thailand. I went to some breeder farms, and they have shown us how they are assessing the metrics of the fish. What is the length, what is the width, what is the thickness of the flesh. All these attributes has to be improved and to be published, that this Indian tilapia, whatever we are producing, you will get this much of fillet tail, this much of thickness of fish, and you are having this much of low fat, like that. You brand your production from day one and you control it, yeah, you will be successful in exporting and capturing the market.
Hmm. So we need a structured plan to make this model scalable and commercially viable, right? And at the same time, we have to ensure that the entire supply chain actors, supply chain stakeholders are working together in the spirit of making this a successful model across the world, right? And then simultaneously, we have to ensure that we do the right messaging. We communicate the right message to the buyers, right? And also it's about connecting with the right markets, right? Tapping consumer emotions, very important, and creating space for high value tilapia, because we don't have scarcity of demand, right? If we can, I always say that we have to do differentiation smartly with
Yeah.
strategic branding and create a space for ourselves for premium products and create a value that global consumers want, right? And tilapia, like biflock tilapia, like you said, that is one of the ways where we can connect with the emotions of today's consumers who want the fish to be produced from a sustainable environment, right? And it should be traceable. And of course, animal welfare is an added component that can bring us closer to the markets and open up the space for ourselves, right? Because I
Yeah.
genuinely feel that brands are built when value chain deliver trust, right? Perceptions are reset and value replaces volume.
Yeah, you are 100% true. And as I said, traceability, then again, social responsibility
Hmm.
and responsible way of growing fish. And then you should be able to say what is the impact of your 1 gram of tilapia or 1 kg of tilapia on the environment. The data has to be presented to them. So looking at that, the consumer will get confidence. Yes, I'm eating a responsible product. And also, once you say you are ASC certified, they know that the labor is not exploited there. There is a
Yes.
control over even on the labor management. And again, your CSR programs, this also plays a huge role in your marketing and branding your product. So there should be a definite corporate social responsibility policy. And Regal Springs is the best example for that, how they do CSR for their project in Indonesia, how many hospitals they build, how many schools they build, how they're taking care of the adjacent communities. That's the CSR program to be initiated. We also do the same in Ghana. To our extent, what we are producing, we take care of the community takes care of us. This is what we believe in. So this whole pact system has to come, make it very much responsible way of growing fish, not just growing fish, responsible way of growing fish. Then ultimately we can knock the door of the buyer, and also we can knock the door of the customer and say, yes, this is a quality product. And I came to know recently that there is some seller for fresh fillet coming from Colombia to France, and they are selling, they are buying at $16 a kilo fresh fillet. So if the quality is there, price is not a barrier at all. And even when Lake Harvest, Zimbabwe was exporting fillet from Zimbabwe to UK, they were selling it even $22, 22 pounds a kilo tilapia fillet. So if the quality is there, if the assurance is there, if the trust is there, you can go to any extent of pricing and branding.
Absolutely. And to enable a promising ecosystem to ensure that we reach that kind of scale, trust, and mindset, you have a vision that we will be unpacking right now. So you have a plan that you have proposed to the government of India, right? Let's talk about that plan. How much production you're looking at, how many years you want to achieve that kind of production capacity, and what is the process you have in your mind to follow?
Yeah, first I submitted this hatchery project to the government of India, and this is basically to our Andhra Pradesh government, and this is 100 to 200 million capacity tilapia hatchery in biofloc system. So we want to stabilize this in 2026 and 27 like that. And by the time it gets stabilized, I have submitted one DPR and one proposal to again state of Andhra Pradesh, government of Andhra Pradesh. This is to produce 20,000 tons of tilapia in biofloc. And this I want to do in 6 stages, 3,500 tons in each stage. And over a period of 3 years, I will be completing the project. And once the total project commissioning is done, we should be producing 20,000 tons of tilapia from biofloc, or if it is converted to fillet, it will be somewhere around 7,000 tons of tilapia fillet, which can be exported. And this particular project will start with its own integrated unit. The first thing what we want to construct is a processing plant. Then we want to go into production. So like when we produce the fish, we don't want to look for a buyer or go in search of a buyer and negotiate. So, and also this farm will be certified with ASC, and with the help of ASC, we will have a constant, a reliable buyer also for what we are producing. So we want to go in that confident way. I have requested for a land from state government of Andhra Pradesh, nearly 120 acres. So we are in discussions with that AP EDB and also AP Maritime Board. So if they provide me the land, then definitely I will look into going into the production in 2027 at least. But because land is a constraint for me, we cannot get that big amount of private land. Definitely the government has to help me over there. So if I get enough support from every sector who has to support me, definitely I will fulfill my dream, and also the dream of the country, where we are planning to go for 1 million metric ton tilapia export. This I heard from Ministry of Trade and Commerce. CII is also involved in that. MPADA is also involved in that. So we are all looking at an alternative species and alternative industry, but somebody has to dive in to take the risk, and I'm ready to take the risk.
So you have a plan to set up a vertically integrated unit for tilapia to produce 20,000 tons of fresh tilapia in the next 3 years.
Yes.
And then let's say you have got the land, right? And you have started the project, you have completed the production of 20,000 tons, you have shown the world that it's a success story. What next?
What next is for me, I want to go to other countries also and start there.
Like, what
For
is
me,
your plan for India after you have demonstrated your success story to us?
Yeah, like 20,000 tons per one single company or person will be a big figure at my level. Yeah, Regal Springs is producing 1 million metric tons in three different places. That's a different perspective. But for me, I want to disseminate the technology to various entrepreneurs. I want to build more entrepreneurs in India who can take this tilapia as a sustainable and long running industry, not like shrimp, which is having so many ups and downs all through its career. So I want to see that like more entrepreneurs, more fisheries graduates becoming into entrepreneurs who can start such projects with the government support. And I will say, don't look for employment, create employment. So that is what the goal which we have to look at. So if we are looking at to become China after 10-15 years, we should have more entrepreneurs into the system. And this aquaculture is one of the best thing which can generate entrepreneurs. It can generate employment, it can generate economy, it can generate sustainability of food and food security. So that is my plan for the next after 20,000 tons.
And when are we expecting those 20,000 tons once you get the land? And how soon you see getting the land?
That thing is not actually in my hands at all. I'm in consultation with AP Economic Development Board and also concerned authorities. Once they finalize to give the land to me, then definitely I will go into it.
But there must be some timeline in your head. Like by this time, I should be able to get the land.
Yeah, like I'm expecting to get this land thing concluded by end of 2026, so that I should start constructing in the 2026 only the first phase, and 2027 mid I should be able to produce and sell my fish. Or in a safer way, if you see the recent tariffs and other things,
Hmm.
yes, I can take 3 years time to get my project set, and then my product will have a reliable market to sell also. So that's one safe planning which has come to my mind in the recent tariff wars.
Great. So by, let's say by 2028, you have a success model to demonstrate to produce 20,000 tons. From
Yes,
there, you want to take it to 1 million metric tons by disseminating knowledge to the progressive farmers. So that biofloc innovation gets elevated beyond a large scale project,
yes.
right? How much additional revenue can we generate per ton
For tilapia,
for tilapia, of course?
if you are looking at farm gate level, we will be selling at 90 rupees a kilo, and this is for the farmer revenue. And then when it is processed and it is exported, it is going for minimum $1.5, which is like today's rate. If you see 135, 140 rupees. Or we can say the government can get a revenue of $1.5 billion from 1 million metric ton tilapia export, either in terms of whole round or it is in terms of fillet, whatever you convert. It's a straight away $1.5 billion revenue generation for the government
That's
in terms
huge.
of foreign. Yeah, that's
I,
huge.
that's
Yeah.
huge. And especially when our government is aiming to double the seafood exports by 2030, then tilapia should be one of their agendas. It should come under their agenda, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is the biggest market for tilapia where we can get the premium prices?
The biggest market for tilapia is the frozen fillet going to US market. And even
We
recently I
have
have
Trump
seen,
there,
pardon?
but we have Trump in US.
That's why I said I'll take a 3 year slow running race by the time the Trump tariff war ends. But still, like if you look at the fears what we had, that the tariff war will kill the shrimp prices, they will downfall to any extent. But we didn't see any drastic down in the shrimp prices even after tariff war. So if not one door, another door is opening for us, and they have opened. Russia, Australia, and Europe, they opened doors for us. So Africa is also importing a lot of tilapia, whole round tilapia. So there is market. Like one only thing is, like once you have the stock, you can just knock and see. Like now, recently, whatever tilapia exported to US, it's all for Walmart. I think they are buying in huge. They are showing interest. Basically, somehow they are showing interest in Indian product because we are ethically good product. I'll say like that ethical value is there for Indian product every time. And that is the thing which will help us to secure the market in future also. We don't go the sideline ways to ensure our production. We give value to the human consumption, the health of the human being who is going to consume our product. This is the trust what the whole globe is having on Indian based food product. Like, these guys don't take sidelines to produce a food product, and it will be never harmful for any consumer. So that ethical belief, or the assurance what people have on us, can be delivered into other species also, and especially in tilapia.
What about Europe?
Europe is importing fresh fillet mostly, and Regal Springs is supplying them. And regarding Europe, yes, like as I said, there is market. Like, if in the recent time, Europe has seen a lot of increase in the inflation, prices, cost of living. So people are shifting from a high priced salmon to a low priced fish. So if we give an alternative to them, that this tilapia fillet is more alternative protein and high quality protein for you, definitely they will show the interest. And this is the one reason why Nile perch fillet dominated in Europe before, Pangasius fillet dominated in Europe before, because of these affordability issues only. So if we can prove that, tilapia fillet is also an alternative, replaceable protein at a high quality, definitely Europe market, at this particular situation where their cost of living is extremely high, looking for an alternative, cheaper protein, this is the right time to introduce our tilapia to Europe markets also.
Okay, that's great. So Dr. Murali wants to show the success story through setting up the vertically integrated supply chain for tilapia, where he plans to produce 20,000 tons of fresh tilapia, roughly 7,260 tons of frozen fillet within the next 3 years. And he envisions India to produce 1 million metric tons of high quality tilapia within 3 years that can generate revenue of $1.5 billion.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so having said this, let's give more reasons to our investors. Why should they invest in this technology through these workings?
Yeah. So now I have prepared this comparison chart between this capex, opex, and project cost, and also the payback periods of different systems. Our target is to produce 1 million metric tons of tilapia. So if I need to produce in ponds, how many acres of land I need? 50,000 acres. For hatchery, 1,000 acres. And then total land is 51,000 acres. And if you look at water volume of water required in cubic meter, that is in TMC, trillion cubic meter, you require 0.16. Like that, if you calculate everything here, when it comes to the payback period, it is like 4.97 years to get your investment back. And here you are not getting any carbon credits. You are having a lot of nitrogen emission and other things. Then again, when you go to the cages, here you require not land, but you require the water surface area. And here you are using 0.0392 TMC of water to produce your fish. You require hardly 1,800 water spread area, 1,800 acres of water spread area to produce. But here the FCR will be like minimum 1.7. It can touch up to 1.9. And here the cost of production will increase because of that FCR. And your payback period will be like 6.23 years to get your money back. And the total investment is also high, like nearly 9,033 crores is required for cages. 14,700 crore was required in the ponds. And when it comes to the RAS, you require 13,855 crores to get this production. But if you look at the payback period, it's a disaster, because the cost of production and the selling price will be almost same in RAS. So that's why we say RAS is for a high valued species, but not something like tilapia and pangasius. And when it comes to the biofloc, it will be like, just 4,167 acres required for the production. And again, 200 acres for the hatchery, total 4,367. And if you look at this TMC of water which you use for this particular production, it's quite less, 0.02 compared to the ponds and cages. and FCR will be like 1.2. And this is the only system where you can get the carbon credits. And you can, as I mentioned before and mentioning now, you can see you can get this many carbon credits, like one second. That will be shown in the next slide. So here it is the economics one. It is like, you can get the lowest payback period is there in biofloc with a lot of advantages. So in this slide now, we are seeing the carbon efficiency, carbon credits, emissions, and nitrogen emissions, land footprint. So in ponds, your land footprint is 0.2 per kg fish, but 0.2 square meter. Whereas in biofloc and RAS, it is 1/10 of that one. And your water footprint liters per kg production is 979 liters in ponds, whereas 117 in cages, and 23 liters in RAS and 20 liters in biofloc. And if you look at the annual nitrogen emission from feed, it is 42,336 tons from ponds, 51,408 tons from cages, and 51,408 tons from biofloc, from RAS, and 36,288 from the biofloc. But again, annual carbon emissions also 441,000 tons from ponds, 535,500 from cages, and 535,500 tons from RAS, and 378,000 from the biofloc. But again, if you see the nitrogen neutralized, you don't neutralize anything in ponds and cages, but you neutralize in the RAS and biofloc. And when it comes to the nitrogen emissions per kg fish production, it is like 0.04 for every 1 kg production in pond, 0.05 in cages. It is 0.0 in biofloc and RAS. And when it comes again to the carbon neutralized in tons, in ponds and cages, you don't neutralize anything. In RAS also, you don't neutralize anything. But in terms of biofloc, you neutralize all the nitrogen which is produced in the system. So overall, if you dig into the final result, you are getting nearly 900,943 carbon credits for 1 million metric ton of fish, which can generate a revenue of 41 crore rupees at the rate of $5 per every 1 carbon credit. This is a normal price in the market now. So we are able to produce fish with a low land footprint, low water footprint, zero nitrogen emissions, and a carbon credit only in biofloc rather than any other culture system. So these figures will assure you what we are talking about.
I want to invest in you.
What I will say is, you will not lose. Like, your cost of production is 60-65 rupees in biofloc. At any, whatever it matters, you will not lose money in biofloc, unless otherwise you do something terribly wrong and your fish will die. But if you are doing a good production, you will never lose money in biofloc, in tilapia, in India. So, and again, as I said, if you go to other countries, the global costing figures are same almost all everywhere, like the power cost, the feed cost, and other things. So if I go to US, if I go to Europe, if I produce there and if I sell them, I get almost all 500-600 times of returns. So India has to see like how we capitalize this technology. Like, we Indians, when I was there in one program with the AP government chief minister, this is he conducted some conclave or on fisheries. At that time, he said, like, I thought Indians are good or are leading in software technology like that, but I don't know that Indians are leading in aquaculture technology also. Yes, we always lead. We, like, basically coming from the grassroots farmer mentality, we always create and think solutions for every problem. That is the uniqueness of what we Indians have in our brains. We come from a farming community base, and that is giving a lot of innovation and mitigation of measures, and that's why we are successful so much in global standards.
Well said. So let's now speak directly to buyers who may be listening. Let's assume that we have a Dutch retailer, Albert Heijn, or we have US supermarkets like Publix are listening to our podcast. So what does the checklist looks like that we can tick through biofloc tilapia?
Yeah, like, basically the proximate composition. what I have seen is our fish grown in biofloc is having more collagen. So the intactness of the flesh, thickness of the skin, it's more. So we can say, like, we can use that skin and scales for more, like, collagen production also. That's one thing which we can say. The proximate composition of the fish in biofloc is completely different than what was grown in ponds and cages. And also the biofloc environment, the TDS, like, will be high. The conductivity will be high. So the nutrient, or what I can say, the mineral accumulation in the body will be high. So the taste of tilapia should be definitely higher than normal grown system. Then it comes to the trace. We can match them there, like, protein content, fat percentage, calorific value per serving. Then again, traceability, farm ID we have, and culture system, like, we are 100% fit there in the traceability also. And environmental metrics, we have the best figures to show them, quantified figures to show them. And data integrity, as I say, we will be ASC certified. We have this data integrity also, because it's the ASC people who are auditing our reports. And then circular economy, we have on-field demonstration for that, how we are doing that circular economy. And again, it is the certifications. Yes, we will do 100%. So when I have all the attributes what the buyer is looking before he buy a product from a farm, definitely they should prefer us, the biofloc farms, or whatever it is we set up in India also, to be the premium suppliers for them. So I don't have any doubt in that, and we definitely, they will find interest in such products.
So can we say that buyers just wait and watch, and we are coming to your doors in another 3 years? Can we say that?
I will not even say buyers wait and watch. We already have one successful system running in Ghana. That's what we are telling buyers. Please visit us in Ghana. And you see, like, the ASC team has visited our farm in Ghana when recently there was one aquaculture expo, conference in Ghana. And the people who visited our farm, they were blown up. Like they said, we never expected such a high technology farm in Ghana at this remote area. And the way we are managing it, and the way, I will say, see, like in Ghana, if you go to buy fish from other producers who are producing in cages, most of the fish will be like blind. They have only one eye. They will not have both the eyes. That is because of saprolegnia infection in their cages. But I said to them, like, my fish is the only fish which have both eyes brilliantly glowing. And I will say healthy fish is also a happy fish. A happy fish is a healthy fish. So if you see the fish is so happy, they are healthy. And definitely that is what reflects on the welfare of the fish. How their yeah. So that's why, like, I will invite them to our farm in Ghana. Come see our tilapia, taste our tilapia, then invest your interest in our tilapia.
Well said. Well said. The point that you said, that a happy fish will be a healthy fish. This is so true.
Yeah. Like, the skin has to tell us, like, it has no parasites. The body has to tell us that there is no disease. Then the fish is happy. Otherwise, they will be moribund swimming at the corners of the tank. And you can say this fish is a diseased, unhappy, sober fish.
And if a fish is happy, then ultimately the entire ecosystem is getting benefited. And it also reflects in the way we think, because if we are taking care of the fish that we are growing, it means that we are good people. We care for our environment. We care for our community, and
Yeah.
that that shows that we are doing every bit that we should do to ensure that our ecosystem thrives and our biodiversity, is preserved, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. See,
And
like,
we
we have to
and
do projects.
all the good results come back to us.
Yeah, yeah. Like, we have to do the projects with responsibility rather than only for profits.
Absolutely.
So then only fish will be happy, we will be happy.
Absolutely. So I think this should be the final words.
Yeah.
There is an opportunity, there is demand. Let's do this work selflessly, taking care of our environment. Let's think about the happiness of our fish, and then we'll see ourselves thriving for decades together,
Yes.
right? So for me, the question is not whether India can do tilapia. There has this question doesn't exist. It's whether we have the discipline to do it right and the urgency to do it now.
Yes, we have the urgency, we have the capability, and we have the only strength to replace somebody or to supply that sustainable. So it should be a well-planned program between the ministry, between the research institutes, between the farming community, between the entrepreneurs, between the funders, everybody, so that it doesn't go wrong anywhere. And like a lot of successful things have happened in shrimp also by cluster management, cluster group formation, like that. So once you have a specific plan on table, on paper, and then you execute it, we will be successful. But without having any plan, if we give the industry to grow by its own, on its own standards, definitely we will face a problem of disease or pricing or etc. etc. Because people, they can compromise in somewhere and they can fail, and ultimately the blame comes to the fish and also the government. So the government, I will request them to have 100% control on this particular species, own the species, and let's go forward together with a constructive thought and development.
And with the right systems, right leadership, and strategic storytelling, tilapia can move from a low value domestic fish to a premium, trusted, export ready product. And the
Yeah.
opportunity is real, right? And the clock is ticking. What we need now is execution, nothing else.
Yes.
Great for leading this need of the hour conversation. Such a pleasure
Thank
to
you.
have you with us. Thank you so much. So, this is not about replacing shrimp, it is about protecting India's future. Tilapia gives us something rare, the power to diversify without diluting and differentiate with integrity. Complete traceability, zero antibiotics, low carbon, and circular economy. This is a future ready fish, environmentally responsible, socially fair, and globally credible. If we build this with discipline and structure, tilapia can become India's next export pilot, capable of generating 1 to 1.5 billion US dollars in additional value, just as shrimp once did. Tilapia is ASC ready by design. The question is, are we ready to build India's regal springs story?
Yeah, definitely this is possible, and I hope this will be achievable too.
On this note, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.
Bye.